Hey everyone, Alex here for BrightDog Academy. If you'd like me to personally answer any questions you may have about your dog, be sure to head over to brightdog.com where you can learn about my online training program, plus pick up a copy of the official BrightDog Academy ebook. So today I want to go over all the reasons why dogs bark. So one of the first things that I talk about in all my other videos that we always want to rule out is there a medical condition going on? In rare cases, barking can be a sign of a medical problem. Things like dementia or something very serious like a brain tumor could actually lead to barking. Now, these are pretty rare cases, but if something happens, your dog develops a new barking behavior just out of the blue, go to the vet just to be sure. Once the vet says, okay, yeah, he's perfectly healthy, then the reason your dog is barking is probably one of these next reasons. So the first reason dogs bark is because they are territorial and protective. Somebody walks by the house, somebody rings the doorbell, and the dog goes crazy. This kind of bark is usually a deeper bark, it's a slower bark, and you'll notice that there's kind of a pattern. They'll bark, 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 and then they'll stop and they'll listen. And then they'll do it again. Bark, 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 and they'll stop and they'll listen to see if whatever they were, hearing and perceiving as a threat is still there. Now, I like when Max does this, my dog Max, because, dogs' ears, they can hear things so much further away than we can, right? Their hearing is incredible. And when he hears something, it alerts me to then be able to go up to the windows in the front and look and see, hey, what's going on out there. This has nothing to do with dominance. This has nothing to do with your dog being the alpha male and trying to, show who you control over the house. No. It's just a natural instinct for dogs to be protective. Some breeds, will do this a whole lot more than others. But it's not a cause for concern. It's nothing to be worried about. That is a normal behavior. Another reason dogs bark is because they're lonely or bored. When you, leave your dog in the morning and go to work, and then you come home and your neighbor's saying, oh, your dog was whining and crying and barking all day, this is the kind of barking it was. This kind of barking usually has howling, more whimpers, it's a higher pitch tone, and it's the dog's way of saying, I'm bored, somebody come play with me, somebody, who's out there, anybody. And this can be totally prevented. It's very important that if you have a dog that is suffering from that, we don't let the dog be bored. Before you go to work, leave him with puzzle toys with food in there, so that way he has something to work on. Maybe consider getting a dog walker. Giving your dog mental stimulation when you're not there is very important to prevent this. Another reason dogs bark is because they're excited and they're happy. Just the other day, I was going to the gym and I was walking in and a lady was coming out of there, and a guy, maybe her husband, was walking towards her and had this little toy poodle on a leash, and they were coming towards each other, and this little dog was just going nuts. Little 5-pound thing just barking and pulling and whining to go see his owner. The second that lady got to him, she picked him up, and he was completely quiet then, and just, squiggling and all over the place in her arms, and it was excitement. Now, Max isn't very vocal when I come home. When I come home, he'll come over and he'll smell me. He's pretty relaxed when I come home. But there's other dogs I've seen where people will come home and they just go crazy, barking, jumping all over him. And again, it might not be, from a human standpoint, it's not a desired behavior, right? Most people, I guess, don't enjoy having their dogs jumping all over them. I personally don't mind it. I like it, in fact. And while it's not a behavior that, as humans, we like, it is a natural dog behavior. It's something we can, teach the dog not to do and to try to work on. But again, it's not a cause for concern that, oh, my dog is barking at me because he's aggressive, or my dog's trying to become the leader. No, he's just barking because he's excited and happy to see you. Another kind of barking dogs do is the attention-seeking bark. I also call this demand barking. It's a kind of bark where they're saying, hey, you, give me something. It could be food, it could be I want to go for a walk, it could be just look at me. It's the dog's way of saying, I want something and I want it now. And naturally, humans, we do the exact wrong thing, and actually we teach the dog to do this. Let's say we're eating dinner, okay? There we are, we're eating dinner, we're cutting up some food, and our dog's right next to us. And what's the dog do? And he barks at us because he wants a piece of that steak. And we go, what do? Oh, no, you're not getting any of this. And then we go back to eating our food. And we're eating our food, and all of a sudden the dog does it again. And what do? Didn't you hear me? I said you're not getting any of this. And then we go back to eating. And then 5 seconds later, what do we get again? And we say, no, didn't you hear me? I'm not giving you this steak. Every time that the dog barks and we talk to him, we're giving him attention. We're reinforcing the behavior. We're teaching him that, hey, if you want my attention, just ask. All you gotta do is bark, and you bark, and yes, I listen to your command. I'll look at you every time. What you should be doing is ignoring the dog when he barks. The second the dog barks, you ignore, and you keep eating. You keep eating. You keep eating. The second he goes, all right, this isn't working, and stops barking and lays down, that's when you go, oh, what a good boy. You pet him and you give him a piece of that steak. And what the dog's gonna start to learn is that when I'm barking, nothing happens. Every time I bark, these humans, they don't look at me, they don't talk to me, they act like I don't exist. But the second I'm quiet and I lay down in my spot, all of a sudden good things start happening. They look at me, they talk to me, they give me steak. Pretty soon that behavior over time starts to get less and less and less until the dog doesn't demand bark at all. So barking is an annoying behavior for many people. A lot of people don't enjoy having a dog bark, which is fine, but it is a normal, natural behavior that should be expected from a healthy dog. A dog who doesn't ever bark and never is, vocal, and granted, some dogs will be more vocal than others, that's fine, but it is a natural behavior. There's no underlying psychological reason. Again, like I said before, the dog's not trying to become the dominant one. He's not trying to become the pack leader with barking. Anyone that tells you that is 30 years behind. They're barking because of the reasons I just mentioned. That's it. Hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you'd like to help support BrightDog Academy, head over to BrightDog.com where you can learn how to join the Patreon program.